Hi everyone, my name is Elle, welcome to my Mostly Booktube channel. Just a quick one from me today. I'm going to be running you through my list of reading goals for 2021. I don't usually do like elaborate reading goals, but I decided might as well do them this year, I guess. So usually every year I set a Goodreads target, usually about 50 books, and then once I inevitably get to that bit, which I have I think for the past like 7 or 8 years, since I got back into reading, I then push it up, usually to about 100, but kind of I aim for 120 because I like the idea of reading 10 books a month. I have never hit 10 books a month like consistently. I've never hit 120 books a year. I think one year I got like to 117 or 118, but generally if I aim for 120 I get to 100, and that is good enough for me. So I'm doing that again this year. There's no point in me trying to push myself or try and change any of that if it works for me. I do want to review every book that I read this year, and that's kind of why I set up this channel, just so that when I look back in like 5 years I know what I liked about the book and what I didn't like about the book, because some of the books that I read a long time ago I'm like, I don't remember why I rated that. I also want to keep up doing wrap-ups and just kind of regular booktube things, just because I really enjoy doing them at the moment. If I don't, I'll stop, that's fine. I want to read mostly non-fiction because that generally reflects like my Goodreads TBR, which is like very finely curated, and also that's generally what I do now, so probably for every 2 non-fiction books I'll read a fiction book, and that kind of works out. I'd like to read all of my TBR. Once again, this is a goal I have every single year and I never manage it. I usually nearly get there though, and I never want to like completely eliminate a TBR because then I'd have to buy lots of books and I can't really be bothered to like buy a huge haul. So, but I would like to read the like 30 books that I have on my Kindle and like the 30 books that I have on my TBR shelf. Even if I get new ones in, I want to make sure that those ones I've read by the end of the year. Will I manage it? Probably not, but I'll try. And then just kind of in general books that I want to read more, things I want to read more about. So I want to read more about economics because I don't know that much about economics. I know quite a lot about political theory and sociology, stuff like that, but I don't necessarily know about economics. So I've already read The Corona Crash by Grace Blakely and I really like her. I would like to read Stolen by her as well, but I think it might be a bit dense for me, so I might try something more introductory. I also in the Verso sale picked up, I did another Verso purchase in the sale, even though I already did one for Christmas. I picked up Economics for the Many by John McDonnell. I love John McDonnell, I think he's great. And yeah, I think this should be like a nice introductory thing to the topic for me, which I'm looking forward to reading. I'd also like to read more about personal finance for younger people. Just read more about like young people's relationship to finance in the UK. Obviously there are a lot of people who are a lot less privileged and well off than me, and I'd like to read more about that. I've read a bit about that in The Corona Crash, where it's kind of about the financialization of economics that's happened since the 80s. So instead of economics being based on commodities, it's very much based on like finance systems, so like shares and debt and repurchasing of debt, and or the refunding of profits from the global south to the global north, and how it's kind of, yeah, it's very bad. And yeah, I would really recommend The Corona Crash if you're interested in stuff like that, and how capitalism is progressing. And I would also like to read more books about the climate. I already do this, but I would like to read more. I'm currently reading Planet to Win, Why We Need a Green New Deal. This is also a Verso book. Yeah, I would like to read more about climate. I like reading books about rewilding. and like policies and stuff like that, more so than kind of the effects of climate change. I've read like The Uninhabited Earth, and while there's a pandemic on, I don't think I'll be reading anything that's quite that like big and scary, but I would like to at some point, maybe if everything dies down. I would also like to read more books about the disabled community and also by the disabled community, but also not hugely focusing on memoirs. So I've got Crippled, Austerity and the Demonisation of Disabled People by Frances Ryan, which is a UK based book about how austerity after the 2008 financial crash affected benefits and disabled people. The Department of Work and Pension under Ian Duncan Smith is infamous for being absolutely abhorrent to disabled people, kind of making disabled people prove that they are disabled, to the extent where it's kind of like, oh, can you show me you can't walk, which is absolutely horrendous. So yeah, I'm gonna read this and get really angry. But I think it's important to know, especially at the current time where there is a lot about, you know, devaluing of disabled people's lives under the pandemic and people with like pre-existing conditions. I think it's really important to remember that they're still people, at the bare minimum, and more than that, kind of understand the issues they face day to day, and how we can support them, and point those kinds of things out when we see them. So yeah, I would like to read that. There's also a book on my TBR on Goodreads that is called Sitting Pretty, which is a memoir by a disabled woman. I don't know that much about it, but I've seen it recommended, so I'm looking forward to reading that. Yeah, just kind of a mix of memoir, policy, and also like across the whole spectrum of disability, because obviously there's a lot, and you know, reading one book about disability is not reading all of them. So yeah, other things, I want to read 100 books. I would like to review all of those books, definitely on Goodreads, probably on here as well. I would like to continue to read and review books for publishers on NetGalley, because I really enjoy doing that. And also, if I have a physical book and I don't think I'm going to reread it or reference it in the future, I would like to sell that book on Depop probably, and then donate the money to charity. That's really just like a sorry, we've now that was to that's really just kind of a way to keep my bookshelves curated, and make sure that I have all the books, that I just have books that I really love on there, and also you know, make sure people, well, I don't know, just kind of if I sell them for cheap on Depop and then give them money to charity, I feel like I'm doing something good, with books that might otherwise just sit on my shelves for the next like decade until I decide to be declutter. And also it means that when I move, I'm not gonna have to pack all of them up. At the moment I've got, I think, about 250 books, physical books, and I think that's probably why I would like to keep it, although I don't really see myself doing like a one in one out kind of thing. So yeah, I guess they're all my reading goals for this year. Let me know what your reading goals are. I love watching these videos. I don't know if I really necessarily get inspiration for them, but because some people, I like to see how different people's like reading goals are, and what different people prioritise. I think it's really interesting. Yeah, I hope you all have a lovely week and weekend, and Rocket, I hope you do too. He's there. Gonna say hello. No, he's not going to say hello. Bye.